Here's another video about Jimmy Dore again with Anna Kasparian and TYT.
People like Anna Kasparian and Cenk and people who've suddenly woken up and realized what's really going on.
This is a right wing. This is a MAGA channel. Megan Murphy. And she's a MAGA. She just does. I look at her channel. She's a so-called centrist or whatever. But I don't think she's a leftist. I think she's more of she does a culture wars. Has a lot of anti-trans stuff on her channel. So I don't care about that. I mean, not about mostly anti-trans. Not about the workers or whatever. Even foreign policy. I mean, it's basically anti-trans stuff. But I think she's a Canadian MAGA. She's a MAGA. I don't think she's not, but she's not a leftist. She wouldn't call herself a leftist. So she's more of a MAGA. I don't think she's a centrist either. Or she's supposed to be a populist. They would call themselves populists, like, but not. I don't think that's what they call themselves. Common sense populists. I mean, that's garbage. She's not really. She's a MAGA, to me. Anyway, they talk about the Young Turks, and Jimmy Dore calls them out again.
And change their tunes. Do you buy that?
No. They are. It is. I'm not saying this lightly. I'm saying clinically they are narcissistic egomaniacs, which they are liars. They've lied about me. They tried to blackmail me. Anna Kasparian got caught doing a fake hashtag me too against me to try to get me canceled. And she's so stupid that she sent me a direct message before she did it, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna launch a sexual harassment campaign against you to shut your mouth up." She said that. She said, "You said you've been right. That's right. Nobody and nowhere there they go does anybody ever confront them over this."
It's so weird. I mean, this is driving me crazy because I haven't followed them very closely, but a little bit here and there. I did see them do an about face, and I was like, bullshit, just because they're clearly such phony people. I was like, I don't buy this for a second. And everyone just signed. They're like, oh, great, they woke up smart. And I'm like, no, this is what's happening.
Glenn Greenwald did an entire hour episode on what she did to me, and he pointed out this is the playbook of the left. If you want to silence someone or if you have a personal grievance, you launch a fake sexual harassment charge. And he showed the blackmail DM. She was so stupid. So at that...
And folks, I'm not a Jimmy Dore fan. But I'm less like when he calls out TYT. That's why I'm doing this.
Time, they were lying to their audience about Syria because they're always pro-war. The Young Turks were for every war in my lifetime. They were for the Afghanistan war. They were for the Libyan war. They were for bombing Syria. They were for Ukraine. Palestine, Gaza was the first war they found they didn't like. It's like, oh, you finally found a war you like. And, there was...
I think he's white, folks. I think Jake was never really a so-called anti-war.
The Gray Zone reporter, Aaron Mate, and
He's my friend.
Were telling the truth about the Syrian war and which was a dirty war funded by the Pentagon and the CIA, and it wasn't a real civil war, and the gas attacks. We were debunking the gas attacks, which were used as a reason for the United States to bomb Syria, and Aaron embarrassed Anna and Cenk on social media about how stupid their take was about Syria and the gas attacks. And so then they started to slander him, just like they did Julian Assange. And they said that Aaron Mott, they said, Julian Assange was working for Trump in Russia. And they said this. And they also said, so they said the same thing about Aaron Mate, that he's being paid by Assad and he works for the Russians.
Just like Tulsi.
Just like Tulsi, they used to say. And so So I was debunking those smears and slanders of them, and I was embarrassing them, just like Aaron Mate was embarrassing them, and their reputation was being tarnished over it. And so they were desperate to shut me up. And so Anna Kasparian sent me a DM saying, I'm going to accuse you of sexual harassment because you've been running your mouth. That's going to end. That's a direct quote. You've been running your mouth, and that's going to end.
See, I don't know, folks. I don't know if this is true or not. Don't know if this is true or not. So he was saying his word against hers, in fairness.
And I'm going to do this sexual harassment, not because. So it's just like. By the way, she was the executive producer of the show at the Young Turks. She was the one who would book me on the show. I worked for her. She was the boss, and if she thought I was a sexual harasser, then she should be sued by the other employees because she was enabling an unsafe workplace for years. Then wasn't she? And of course, it was so. They're such bad liars that when they did the big video to accuse me. Cenk told one story, and Anna turned to him and said, "No, that's not what happened." And she told a totally different. So they didn't even get together on their lie. And of course, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur were the ones who used to do all those horribly insulting and misogynistic segments about guess whose camel toe it is, and they would show pictures of women in yoga pants and so who's the celebrity, who's the camel toe. Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian would show upskirt photos taken of celebrities who weren't wearing underwear, and they didn't know that. So they would take the picture and then they would post it on their website and tell people, go to our website. They would do that for clicks. That was the kind of creep. Those are the kind of creeps Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur are. So now she's using the story of how she got sexually molested, is her words, by a homeless guy.
And just instantly woke up and realized that she's on the wrong side.
I know she lied about me sexually harassing her, so my suspicion is she's lying about that because she was catching a lot of heat for her takes on homeless people from the people in their audience, and so she had to make herself a victim, and I'm sure she just made that story up. And but the right wing is going to embrace them, right? So they're like,
oh my God. Here it is, folks. I'm going to go with this. Jimmy Dore said that the whole thing was made up. She was sexually harassed by homeless people, or essayed. She's saying that Anna Kasparian was not essayed by homeless person. Wow. And she's making it up.
Oh, good. Now look, these lefties are denouncing their leftiness.
They love it.
And so they're going to love them. And nobody even knows that story. Even though Pulitzer Prize winner Glenn Greenwald did an hour-long video and meticulously outlining exactly what Anna Kasparian did, and it's exactly what the left did during #MeToo, up until Joe Biden, who was credibly accused of rape and showering with his. If you read his daughter's diary, showering with her inappropriately when she's a teenager, and all kinds of his daughter used to wait.
I don't know. Oh my God. This is all this allegations. I mean, this kind of it's not like Trump. He was actually accused of. He was found. Well, this guy's a Trump shiller, anyways. They're shilling for Donald Trump. That's why I don't like Jimmy Dore. But Biden, he's not. You have to be fair. It's all allegations. I mean, that's creepy too. I don't know. That's saying that he's saying that he did that to his daughter. I mean, I wouldn't accuse him of that. It's all allegations. I mean, I don't know. Some of this stuff is from the right wing. Is made up. They accuse Biden of this and that, of all kinds of shit. I mean, some of the stuff might be with what's his name in Ukraine and what's his name, Biden's son. With the arts, some kind of business thing going on with Ukraine, with his son, with his business, and there might be some corruption there. It's not proven, but that's about it. Maybe some corruption. But nothing. But there's no connection to Biden though. But his son did some corruption. I mean, besides the gun charge, which he was pardoned for. But to say Biden did all this harassment, I don't know. It's just allegations. I can't really. I wouldn't follow. I wouldn't say that they did that. They're saying that he did. It's proven. It's not proven. Jimmy Dore is crap. But he's calling out TYT. So they're both crap. They were trash, garbage people.
Until it was nighttime in the shower because she was afraid. Anyway, that all went. So that's what hashtag Me Too all went away when they had a real molester and raper as their nominee. So they all had to let that stuff. Then it used to be believe all women. Then it was listen. Oh, you listen to women, but you don't believe them. It's just they're the most horrible people, and that's why I'm not a Democrat. And
she's not a Democrat. See, he's supposed to be See, he's a Trumper. Yes, actually, he said Donald Trump was Donald Trump was more the left winger than Kamala Harris. This guy's totally a MAGA, totally a Trump. He's a right winger. He calls himself a leftist. I think this guy is a terrible. But Democrats are bad anyways, but this guy's not a left winger. I mean, he's more of a MAGA.
And Democrats are not liberal. I'm a liberal. They're illegal. And Cenk and Anna.
He said he's a liberal. Oh my God. I think Cenk and Anna. Cenk? The irony is Cenk and Anna, they're more like Jimmy Dore now.
Are the sleaziest of media slime dogs. And
Yeah.
they are slime balls. And I don't, and if they are going to do this, wake up to, guess what? MAGA voters aren't your enemy. That's their new thing now. Which
You
is
should
what
just talk to them like normal people. Oh, the left is a little bit authoritarian. They don't like free speech. Gas.
I interviewed a Boogaloo boy on my show, and they called me right wing, and they called me alt right, and they called me a phony and a grifter, and all just for what? I can't interview someone on my show, and so if they're going to do this
Boogaloo
new
boys.
about face, it needs to start with an admission.
Boogaloo boys are white supremacists, by the way, supposedly.
That they were the worst practitioners of the thing that they're now decrying, making your neighbor your enemy, making your Republican voters your enemy, and calling them white supremacists, calling them.
He's right though. He has a point though. He's doing the same thing. But they accuse people of the left of doing that. They're doing the same thing. He used to do that. So he has a point.
Nazis, calling them sexist, calling them misogynist. They did all that stuff constantly and called them Russian. And then, so they need to admit that they were the worst practitioners of that. And then it needs to be followed up with a sincere apology and act of contrition. Apology to people like me and Tulsi and Dave Rubin and Brianna Joy Gray. They called us all.
Which are all terrible except for Brianna. Brianna is the only one that's. The only good person there is Brianna. The rest are all terrible.
Alt-right grifters and all, because we woke up to this way before they did. But that'll never happen. They're never going to admit that they were the worst people in the world who did the thing that they now decry, because that's the personality disorder that they have, which is narcissism. I'm not using that weakly. I'm using the textbook definition of that. And one of the hallmarks of a narcissist is they can never admit when they're wrong, and they'll never sincerely apologize. And so that will never happen. You'll never see Anna Kasparian or Cenk Uygur doing either of those things. They're horrible, sleazy slimeball media figures who
You're
are
right.
only self-interested. And the
Right.
reason why they're doing this is because viewers left them. They have subscriber paying members. They left them. Half of them left during Force to Vote, which is a thing that I pioneered, which was to get the progressives, Democrats, in Congress who got elected to Congress to use their leverage that they actually had to force a vote for Medicare for all on the House floor, which is something they all campaigned on, something the left has been screaming for. AOC, when she ran, she said, we can't even get a vote on Medicare for all on the House floor. We can't even get a vote. And so when they had the chance to force that vote, I started a campaign, and over that is when Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur started lying and slandering me because they chose to defend the politicians because they're funded by the biggest Democratic donor in the world, which is Jeffrey Katzenberg, who gave them $20 million. They wanted to be on the inside in the Democratic Party. Cenk Uygur goes to the Washington Correspondents' Dinner. He wants to be accepted by those people. He wants to be accepted. He wants to get his chair at the Democratic National Convention. All those things. He's, he's in bed with the people who run Google and YouTube.
See, he wanted to be a Democrat. You want to be a Democrat. This guy is a total grifter from the start. Cenk Uygur and TYT.
And all that stuff, right? Which is this, the deep state, the CIA, the establishment. They are the establishment.
Exactly.
Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian. They're
exactly.
not. And so anyway, my point is they're phonies and liars, and they're so during that Force to Vote. They did a poll of their paying members. They wanted to know how many of them supported Force to Vote, this idea and almost 9 out of 10 of their own paying members supported Force to Vote, which I pioneered, and they didn't. They were lying about and slandering us, saying that McCarthy could become speaker if they do that, which was always a lie, and their own audience knew it, and so their audience who paid them abandoned them. At least half of them left over Force to Vote, and now the other half just left, and if you look at their views, they're in the gutter. So this is a desperate attempt for them to save themselves, because they're in a failing, spiraling media project, and this is the next grift that they can do, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yep, folks. TYT. Jimmy Dore spills more tea. Wow. And you said that Anna made up the whole essay thing. That's crazy. But I think she counteracted. I don't know if she ever heard this. I wonder if she did. No, she might hear this now, but I don't know. That's what gets me. She made the whole thing up. That's really bad. I don't think she made it up. She was assaulted. By me, I think he's saying that it was a homeless. I think he's saying that he's not saying he's saying she was assaulted, but wasn't a homeless guy. I think that part she made up. That's what he's saying. He's saying that she made that part up. I don't think he's saying that. Because that's why he could get away with it. He's not saying she was not ever not molested, but it wasn't a homeless guy. It was a regular dude, probably. That's what he's saying. That's what Dore's saying. Anyways, folks, what do you think about this one? I'm out and it's late at night. Till the next video. Comment, everyone.